What is up, guys? We are live for another episode of the Super Awesome Vape Show. Welcome, 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 everyone. Don't forget to share that link out everywhere. We got Tony B in the house. We have, of course, Mike's Mex, and we are still waiting on our other counterpart here, Jay. Chris is off today. He is out for Mother's Day. I believe it's Mother's Day over there in the UK right now. So
it certainly is.
he's hanging out with his mom.
Mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law. All right. So, yeah, welcome everyone. Let's just go ahead and kick it off here. I'm actually going to just quickly present Tony so he can talk about what he's vaping
Right
on.
now, that sounds like some kind of cool robot 80s music.
Oh, am I roboing?
Okay.
Oh, am I better?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were roboing. It was pretty awesome.
I saw you stuck in like a pose like this.
Okay.
So, I don't know. But, all right.
All right, so you want me to go first?
Let's hand it off to Tony B. Welcome, Tony.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Sorry for the messy room here. This is not my normal place where I make my videos. My studio's in another room, but that's also a mess and a big green screen. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for having me on the show. You know, I've got some new products that are coming out. Well, I say new, but products that have been in the works for some of them around 2.5 years. But new flavor of the Sugar Lips line is coming out. It's called Dirty Grin. It's basically a cereal with berries, marshmallow, and milk. And yeah, there's a lot of those out there. But you know what? I wanted all the flavors in the Sugar Lips line to be stuff that like I would vape. Like I'm not going to make something with melon in it because I don't vape melon, you know, that kind of thing. So it's my own version of that type of a cereal, and it's really, really good. That's what I'm vaping in here right now, which happens to be the Pulse 80 watt mod. I've got the Matte Black Pulse 24 on top of this. Previously, guys, the Matte Black Pulse 24 was only available in the Pulse BF kit, but now any new orders for Black Pulse 24s are going to be matte black. So all of the previous orders that are out there, if you're buying one from a store in the UK or the US, just make sure that you ask the vendor, is it matte black or painted black? Because if they have old stock, it's going to be the old one. But yeah, you can now get the Pulse 24 without buying the kit, so that's pretty cool. Of course, the Pulse 80 watt mod, which I can now show you guys the insides of it. There was a big controversy over this, Nick, and you know, one of the things that was a controversy is that when we were at ECC, I wouldn't show the inside. And that was because I was told you cannot show the inside yet because something we're going to talk about later, Chinese New Year, was in effect. But they're still looking to clone stuff during Chinese New Year. So they were like, since we have not released it officially, we don't want to put it out there so that it could be cloned before we can actually get ours on the shelves. You know what I'm saying? So that was the reason why I couldn't show it. But the reason why people were saying that it looked so nice is because we redesigned the bottle. We made the bottle so that you could grab onto it a lot bigger. I mean, there's a whole nice big cone here at the top that you can hold onto and unscrew that cap. Now, I prefer a refill bottle. That makes things a lot easier. And some of the versions of this are going to come with refill bottles, some of them without. And that's mainly because...
Uh-oh. We got Robo Tony.
Uh-oh.
Oh, come on, Tony. You could do it. Oh, he's lagged hard. Hashtag Robo Tony. Come on, man. Why? It's that show. Oh, he's back.
Why?
He's back.
Yeah. So on this, you will be able to replace both panels just like before, and it says a Tony B project on the inside there. This is a Sanyo 2700A that we've got inside there, and of course it takes 18650 and 2700 just like the previous version did, and it's only slightly larger. I don't have one of the previous ones up here right now, but it is only slightly larger this way in height and in width because of course you have to accommodate a chip, and the board takes up that much space in there. But it is, man, it's a great mod. You know, this does have the Gene chip in it. All right, so turn it off. Bandy Vape and Pulse.
Nice. And roboed. Oh, Tony, what's up with your internet, dude? Oh, man. Well, he'll be back in a second here, I'm sure. I like how the screen is stuck right with the mod, right? And it says pulse over his face. That's perfect.
That's it. Proper Robo Tony style.
Yeah, at least he does it in a classy way. Oh, he's back. All right, there we go. Tony, are you wireless right now?
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Am I what?
Are you on wireless internet?
I am on Wi-Fi, yeah.
Okay, maybe that's why. Well,
okay.
You're back.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, I love it, absolutely. The other things I'm vaping right now, I've got the Limelight Gloom, which is, man, this has to be my absolute favorite higher end squonk. I mean, you know, it's a mechanical. This has the MOSFET switch in it, and it's absolutely beautiful out of Serbia. It's the form of it is just perfect for holding in the hand, you know, just squeezing that bottle real nice and easy. Of course, I have a Pulse 24 matte black on top of that. And then let's see, I've got a couple here. This one I'm not vaping right now, but I wanted to show it off just because it's freaking awesome. This is one of the Dull Dime mods, and Michelle.
Oh. I'll just leave that up there for a second.
I was going to say, is that an Altoids tin?
Yes, it's an Altoids tin, and mine should be here tomorrow. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm getting a Dull Dime. Oh, there he is.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm getting my Dull Dime tomorrow, Tony.
So that was the first squonk that she did, and she also to put the squonk in there.
Oh,
so I'm
Tony,
happy with that. Let's see. Also vaping on the. I see I'm pausing over there.
You all right over there, Tony? Your internet is not liking you right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It says everything is fine, and I usually don't have problems on here.
Just make sure you close down all those Pornhub tabs you got open.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah,
listen, a guy's got to do what a guy's got to do, right? And then, oh, I love this. Pick this up at ECC. Whoops.
Whoa. There's a con for you right there.
All right. And, oh, it's nice. But, you know, I've already had one of the magnets fall out of that, the Juma panel on that. And it's a really nice mod. It's one of the few mods that I've actually bought in the last, 6 months or so, but it's really nice. Love that. What else? Oh, and this, the little Anchor mod. You seen this? The Anchor Nano?
No.
Beautiful little mod. The button is on the side there, so it's just, you just hold it like that and squonk it from the side there. And I've got a Flav on top of that.
That's pretty neat, man.
Yeah, this is a small modder, Taylor. He runs Anchor box mods, and he's really come a long way with these things. But it's a nice little mod. Very, very small. And just fire it from the side. That's what I'm vaping on. As far as e-liquid goes, I've got my Dirty Grin in here, and in here I've got Lucky Bird, and in this one it is Elysian Pineapple Cake.
There you go. The pineapple upside down.
This one I don't have filled up right now, but I.
Oh. Man, I thought UK internet was bad.
There you go.
There he is. Sorry, we get like intermittent spurts of Tony B. It's just a smattering.
Not what my wife says.
Oh God. So is that
so
all
what are you guys vaping on?
There you go. All right.
That's what we've got right now. Yeah.
We'll put it over to Mike's Max here. Mike, what do you got today?
What's up, everyone? Today, yet again, I'm on my Smug Mod Ripper mod, and I've got my Pulse 24 in rainbow on the top.
Nice.
With, I don't even know whose drip tip that is. The red one, obviously. And I've got a 0.1 alien build in that by Kev's Coils at the moment. I've got my Homebrew Blue Slush in there. I've also got a bit of 12 Monkeys Matata going on. And then a bit later on, I will be hitting up the Jamco with their lime marmalade flavour.
Lime marmalade.
Yes, it is a bit of a coil killer, but it is really Moorish.
Is it tart? Is it sweet? Is it sour?
Very sweet,
Mm-hmm.
but it's got a very strong lime flavor to it.
Yeah, it's probably all that sugar gunking up your coils because they have to overcome the tart and sourness of the
Oh
lime.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, in a sub tank, that is definitely a coil killer, but it is a really nice juice.
Sub tank. You and sub tanks? Come on.
I do occasionally for work.
For work. Okay.
Right.
Good
Yeah,
excuse.
that's the thing too. Sometimes with those sweeter juices, I'm like, if I'm using a rebuildable, I have no problem with that, man. If it gunks up the coils, okay. I like sweet. I like sugar, so I'm okay with that.
I call them guilty pleasure e-liquids because it's like, I know this is going to destroy my coils, but I do not care. It's so good. Is that you, Mike?
That's me, yep. And just one more thing. Yes, Michelle, I have changed my setup round. I'm no longer stuck in the corner.
I know it looked like a proper reviewer now. All right, I guess it's my turn. All right, so let's see. I've got a number of setups as usual. Let's start with the ugly one first. Look at this big bastard here. This is a Livcore 256 because it weighs 256 pounds. It's got the dually tank on top by Vaporgate, which is, I do love this tank, but it just doesn't fit on like anything that I own. Cleto 120 coil in there right now. This is a triple battery mod, by the way, but it has a tiny little screen, so I'm not a big fan of that. I've got my own juice in there right now, Blazberry. I sometimes, this is like my least favorite out of the three, but it's the most popular one. So every now and then I just kind of go back to that and vape a bottle of it. And then I go back to my mango, which I am more familiar with. Next setup I've got is the X-Fang with the Bravo tank on top, the Snow Wolf X-Fang, and Watofo Bravo. I just like the gold accents on the X-Fang because it matches with the tank. That's really the only reason that this is on this at the moment. The X-Fang otherwise, not my favorite. Not my favorite. It's clunky, it's big, it's heavy, it's kind of bulky, and just I don't know. But it's got little gold accents on there, and it matches with the tank. In the tank there, I've got smoothie liquids, one by ADV, Casadaga, all those guys. The strawberry banana smoothie, their latest. This is my second bottle, and I've only been vaping on it for a little over a week now. And I'm almost gone. This one is almost gone as well. Next up, I've got the Inikin Platform Series Chroma with the Zenith on top of there. Little Pibisardo and Vaping Greek action going on. This is my mouth-to-lung banger with some Grindhouse Americano, their one and only flavor for the moment, and it's just a standard cream and sugar coffee, your basic coffee. But this is amazing. Really, really good coffee flavor. I struggled to find a good coffee flavor for a long time, and this is simplicity at its finest right here. Just a nice, simple coffee with cream and sugar. What I'm used to, what I drink every single morning. Next up, we've got the Luxotic box with the Dead Rabbit SQ, which is the review for that is coming out on Tuesday. And this is like my kind of everyday squonk setup. I've got some Crumbs Vapor Pear Parfait up top there in the RDA. Really good stuff. Shane's a good guy, and can't wait to see him again at Foxwoods. Pear is a really good flavor profile if you like a light kind of flavor. It's a pear honey graham cracker with a little Greek yogurt in there as well. So it's really unique, really, palate cleansing sort of e-liquid. And then I've got my Pulse BF mod. Shameless plug. Pulse BF with the Watofo. What is this thing called? Nudge 22. Yeah, I'm loving these little 22 millimeter atomizers right now. And I love the single coil squonk life. And with a single battery, unregulated squonker, that's like my ultimate setup right there is a single coil. You get that slight bit of restriction on these little 22s, and it's just so good and so flavorful. In there, I have some Killer Custard by Vapetasia. This is the lemon, Killer Custard lemon. Really good flavor. I'm really glad they sent it to me. I'm not a huge custard fan in general, but the lemon custard actually pairs really nicely with a lot of coffees and stuff like that, which is great. And it can be an all day for me, which is really rare for a custard. Oh yeah, one more thing I had to mention is that I refilled the Jewel Pod with some Mystery Pop Salts by Mighty Vapors. This stuff is really good. This is one of my guilty pleasure e-liquids because I know it's going to gunk up my coils, but I do not care. It's amazing. It's like a handful of just sweet and sour candy. It's delicious. All right, so that is me, typically long-winded as per usual. Now we are joined by our other co-host here, and I'm waiting for a signal to let us know that he's ready.
Sort of.
All right. Well, you're getting presented anyways. Here's Jay.
What's going on, people? Sorry I was late, but it was fashionably late, right?
Right.
No one noticed you were gone.
Oh, cheers. Bit like that. Yeah, so I was just driving, so I don't know what's gone on so far or anything like that. But anyway, hi guys, welcome to the show. Hi Tony. Nice to see you again, fella.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, man. Everything is great, and I'm looking forward to coming to London here in April. So
nice. I'll meet up with you, and we'll have a little chinwag again.
Cool.
Yeah, nice. Good. Are we doing what everybody's vaping on?
Yep.
Okay. So at the minute, I've just got this as my everyday beta right now, which is my Vandy Vape Berserker with the tall glass math to lung on my Minikin V2, and I've got some Element NS20 pink lemonade Nick salts in that. I don't know why, but I'm just going crazy for the Nick salts right now. I've got my G-Class with the TFV12 prints on top with the Fat Boy glass, and in that I'm rocking some Dinner Ladies Lemon Tart. I have somewhere, I've got my bow as well, my little pod mod system, which I've been using, and that's got some cakey something or other going down in that. I have got also my Element Nick Pod Mini Gusto, and I have just got out my Pulse Box mod as well, but I can't find I can't find my 24 anywhere. I'm gutted because I was just about to put all that together, but it's here somewhere anyway. But yeah, that's me for now. So yeah, nice one, guys.
Well then, since I guess I'm the topic leader today, we should kick it off because I know Tony, you have to leave a little bit early today, so we're gonna get to your part of things relatively quickly. But before we do that, I did want to talk about our main topic today, which is how the Chinese New Year affects the vaping industry. I have a few notes here written down. Oh wait, no, Jay, you had a topic to talk about, right? We'll move that towards the end of the show. We'll start off with the Chinese New Year thing here because I know Tony doesn't have all the time in the world, and we want as much FaceTime with him as possible. So
yeah, I'll stay as long as I can.
Yeah. So basically, just kind of general kind of topic here. How the Chinese New Year affects the vape industry as far as consumers are concerned, as far as vendors are concerned, as far as mod designers like yourself, Tony, are concerned. I want to hear kind of all sides of things, including people in chat right now. I really want to get engaged with you guys and, see what you guys have to say about this. So, as far as I guess I'll kick us off with a shop owner, shop employee kind of thing. We've been in business at Voltage Vape for over 4 years now, and we know exactly what to expect when it comes to Chinese New Year. Vendors run out of product. There's a shortage of batteries. There's a shortage of coils. So you get prepared. You double order everything 2 or 3 weeks before Chinese New Year even starts. That way you have a backstock of, huge backstock of coils just in case. And if anything, you're going to use them eventually. So with that, I know how to be prepared, but I've seen it before with other shops just not being enough prepared with their backstock, and they run out of coils, and that absolutely sucks because then they're scrambling. They're asking other shops in the area, and hopefully they can find some for their customers. But it's a pain in the ass, and it's definitely something to look out for.
I think one of the things that maybe to preface all of this is that not a lot of people understand exactly what happens in Chinese New Year. When Chinese New Year happens, they literally shut down Shenzhen, Shenzhen is where everything is made. So if you have a project in the works, well, forget about it for about a month. If you, when these people, when they take their holiday, they literally go, I think a lot of them actually don't really live in Shenzhen. They have dorms and that kind of stuff. And then they just go home to their hometowns, and they will go and not come back for 3 to 4 weeks. And when they do, you still have to take the time for the, for the businesses to ramp back up into production and all of that. So if you, just like Nick said, if you're a shop and you haven't ordered all of your stuff, well, you're screwed until they're ready to come back and get things going. One of the things that was a frustration with the Pulse BF with the 80-watt mod is that, we announced it at ECC, which is right at the beginning of Chinese New Year. And we said, well, as soon as Chinese New Year is over, then we'll be ready. But what people don't realize is that, if we're, in our case, we're using the Gene chip, which is manufactured by an OEM manufacturer. So it's a third-party manufacturer. Now we're at their mercy to get those chips and get them, into the mod. So it's one of those things. There is a slight delay. We will have this mod out, to people as soon as we can, but that's the breaks, man. When it comes to Chinese New Year, you're at their mercy. That's all there is to it.
You're just teasing us. Don't lie, Tony.
Dude, that everybody's like, oh, it's just hype. It's just hype. I'm like, no, trust me. If you notice that after I announced it and then I realized that it was going to take a little bit longer, I quieted down because I don't want to be accused of just building the hype, although hype is a good thing. And I come from a marketing background because I worked in radio for 17, 18 years. It's one of those things that, like, I don't want it to just be hype. This is a good mod at a good price, and I want everybody to have access to it. That's what it comes down to. So,
well, there you go. I mean, Jay, I know you're a shop manager. I would like to hear Jay's opinion on this.
See, well, with me being the shop manager, okay, I have day-to-day running of the shop and ordering of the stock, but obviously I've got to go through head office to do my ordering. So I order through my head office, but then obviously they have to order from wherever they have to order to, and it's the same sort of thing for them, but it has a ripple effect more so for me, because obviously I'm relying on my head office to do the ordering from whoever they get their stuff from. And like, if the people, like, so my place goes to like wholesalers and distributors, and if they haven't ordered enough stock or they've sold out and preempted that, like, they're not going to have enough stock or whatever, like, that just rolls down the hill. And me being the last person before the consumer, like, I'm the one that's got the least amount of this or the least amount of that, and I've got to explain to everyone. And like, a lot of people, like vapors that come into the shop, don't even know about the Chinese New Year or not, or their celebrations that they close for 3 to 4 weeks, like, and trying to explain to them, like, and you can see the frustration that they're getting, but I wanted this and I wanted that, and I'm like, but my hands are tied, there's not a lot that I can do. I can only do so much. But like you said, you make that double, triple order just on the hope that you don't, and it's just really crazy. And to top it all off, mate, 3 snowflakes in Great Britain, and then the whole place just comes to a standstill. So anything that you did have coming in, like, don't get delivered because there's 3 snowflakes on the ground, and the country just stops. Like, it's just crazy. It really is.
I guess I was under the impression that you guys actually did get snow there occasionally, and then I realized, well, maybe not, because they're just shut down.
Yeah, everything from the postal service to the trains to the buses to everything, and everybody just drives stupidly crazy. And I'm like, come on, it's just a bit of snow. Just let's deal with this. And no. You got driving Miss Daisy out there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be late for work in a minute, and oh my God, it's just crazy. Normally, trains are really bad over here. Oh, there's a few leaves on the track, but whoa, mate, a bit of snow and everything stops.
Yeah, we get the wrong type of snow for our transport system.
Yeah, for some reason, yeah. Although it's the same snow that comes from all over the world, but yeah, it's the wrong type of snow.
Yeah, same as we get the wrong type of rain for our transport system as well.
So that on top of the Chinese New Year, and like, oh my God, it was so frustrating. But yeah, You just got to do with.
I don't work in the vaping industry, obviously. I'm a coach driver. And the week that we had the snow, we had over 6 grand of work just cancelled just like that because there was a couple of snowflakes on the damn road.
That's just crazy.
Like, you know, all the rest of the world, no pun intended, they just plow on and plow through it. But, you know, what do we
say? What can I say? We're a nation of snowflakes.
There you go. There you go.
Mike, you absolute melt of a snowman.
So, actually, Mike, now that we're on to you, I'd like to hear your opinion because, like you said, you're not in the vaping industry. You're not like involved. As a consumer, I would like to hear your thoughts on how Chinese New Year affects you guys.
Well, from a consumer point of view, it becomes annoying because we can't get what we want. You know, we want to go to the vape shop. We want to buy the juice that we want. We want to buy the hardware that we want.
Yeah.
If we can't get it, it becomes annoying to the consumer, and that's when we go and end up ordering online and still having to wait because we got to wait for shipping.
Oh, that's a whole other story right there.
Yeah.
Especially if you're ordering from China.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, me personally, I don't actually order stuff from China and places like that. I order from British companies because it's cheaper on shipping, obviously.
But how many people don't know about Chinese New Year coming and order from China and then have to wait over a month for even to get it shipped out, not to mention just the shipping time and everything else?
I thought that was the usual story, though, wasn't it?
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's not many people know about how long China actually shuts down for the New Year.
Yeah, it's literally shut down.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the world, their New Year is like one night, maybe a night and a day. Yeah. China has a month for New Year.
What a celebration. You got to give hand it to them, though, ain't you?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm surprised they don't have to take another month off just to get over the month they've had.
Yeah, we need to set that up in our countries. Like, at least give me a week. Give me a week off. I'd be happy with that. You know,
I'm kind of curious. I wonder if they drink the whole time. That's what I would do.
I've been told that that especially Americans, when they go over there, they drink a lot of beer because, like, anything that you get that's cold, they're going to put their ice in, and we don't. It doesn't do well for our stomachs. So the water, so we got to be careful about that. That's what I was told. Like, yeah, I drink a lot of beer when I'm there. So maybe they do, you know. Hey, something real quickly, not to divert too much from New Year, but also about ordering from Chinese websites. This is kind of an interesting thing because, like, as soon as the Pulse 80 watt was announced, you have, you know, Vaporel and Vape Sourcing and 3F Vape. I'm going to call them out because here's the thing. They don't even know the price yet, and they already have a pre-order up on their sites for, you know, like $40. I'm like, okay, well, you don't even know the price. And by the way, the price is quite a bit higher than that, and I think that the wholesale is going to be around that. What I've been told by my sources in China is that a lot of times these sites, all they want is traffic. So they put up a pre-order that's not even a real pre-order because they're not going to be able to deliver that product. For one, they're on Vandy Vape's blacklist. Because they don't follow the rules. So they're not authorized dealers. So one of the things that I explain to people, I'm like, look, if you want to take a chance, take a chance. Go ahead and order out those sites. It's not going to, you know, affect me one way or the other because my profit off of these things it's very, very small. It's a lot smaller than people would think. But if you order from one of those sites, think about it like this. Think about it like you're going to a big box store to buy a TV. You know what TV you want. You're about to go in there and get it. You know, say a Sony or Vizio or whatever TV. Then a guy in the parking lot in a van stops you and goes, hey, psst, come over here, man. I got that TV for about half the price. You're like, hell yeah. So you take out your cash, you buy that TV, you get it home. 2 weeks later, it breaks, and you try to contact Sony or Vizio and say, hey, I need warranty service. And they're like, yeah, we need to see your receipt from an authorized dealer. You don't have one. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we can't honor the warranty. That's what happens if you ever get the product from these companies, all right? So just be careful with the Chinese companies you do order from. Make sure that they are authorized dealers for the product that you're trying to get, or you're taking a chance. It's just a big crapshoot. So.
And actually, I think Stan and chat, Tenacious Texas Vapes, could really chime in about that. We've talked about this before off stream, and he's been dealing with the same thing with the Dreamer mod and Lucid RDA, where the 3F vape and stuff like that, they'll just post it up for a price that's well below. It's like half the cost of the actual unit, and they don't even have them. They don't have an order for them. They are not authorized dealers. And like you said, Vandy Vape even blacklisted those sites. So yeah, he just typed a big block of text in chat right there.
Right. I mean, if they even get the product, and if they do, then if they're going to get an authentic product, they're going to have to get it from a third-party distributor. So you're not going to get it in the first batch anyway. So they're going to keep putting you off, and they'll tell you that Vandy Vape is the reason, or in the case of the Dreamer, that the manufacturer is the reason, but it's not. It's that they're not authorized. Their whole game is to get traffic to their site, because they have a listing before anybody else, and it's the lowest listing out there.
It's traffic all about SEO.
Yeah, search engine optimization. So,
yep. So I was going to say, because 3F Vape does actually have the authentic Dreamer mod now, don't they?
Well, so they claim.
No, someone over here bought one off of 3F Vape, and they done the scratch and sniff thing, and it showed up as authentic.
You smelt good.
Stan says they actually sold a Dreamer that we cannot verify if they are authentic or not, but the price was no way they were. Wait, what? The price.
In other words, what he's saying is that if they were to sold it at that price, they couldn't have made any money. So it's either not authentic or something else is afoot. And also, I've heard stories of these Chinese factories, because Vandy Vape doesn't own the factory. They get it manufactured in a factory. We design it, we do all the 3D CAD work, we do all the prototyping, and then when it's time to manufacture, it's a factory that does it. Who's to say this factory is not just like, well, we're just going to leave the machines running later at night after we're done with the run? I don't know that this is what happens with Vandy Vape, but I've heard it happens with companies, and then they're selling it out the back door. So, yep. It's really crappy is what it is.
Oh, yeah. It's screwing everyone over in the long run, because, I mean, we are dealing with Chinese-made products. So we have something that, is cheaper, but it's hard to say, like, how cheap is too cheap kind of thing. And like Stan said, he said that they block IP addresses from Chinese websites and everything like that. But how other people do it, like in Australia, I know that a lot of times you have to kind of divert their laws, because they have a very strict set of laws when it comes to vapor products. So what they do is they have like a kind of like a courier kind of service, I guess. Like they drop it off at the courier service, and then the courier service takes their package and drops it off at your door. So it's kind of a way around their laws, and it's kind of the same thing that they could do potentially, is have another company buy it for them and then drop it off to 3F Vape, which is super sketchy, and I would not trust that one bit. But
that's another thing. Couriers over here are now contacting people to see if the products that's in the box is actually TPD compliant.
Ooh.
That'll take a long time too, wouldn't it? To go through that whole process, I would think.
Well, it not only are they opening your packages and they're checking what you're buying, but you have to kind of explain your way around things. If you're a YouTube reviewer with a US market, basically, if you're a UK reviewer with a US market, so it's really hard to explain, because like a lot of UK reviewers don't have a big following from the US, and kind of vice versa. Like my UK viewership is like 11%. But with that, like you would have to explain to them that you're a reviewer, and this product was sent to you for the exclusive purpose of review, and consumers wouldn't be able to get away with that more than likely. But as far as like credentials or anything, that's going to be the tricky thing for them to figure out. I don't know. It's a slippery slope, and I'm worried about the state of things. I mean, every time I actually learned, one of my subscribers told me that the yellow tape that you get on all of your Chinese packages, in the US at least, is not actually from China. That's
from the US Customs.
It's from Customs, right?
Oh, yeah. That makes sense, because I'm always like, this box is crazy taped.
Yeah, that's Customs. They open every box and they're like, okay, yep.
Yeah, no.
You know what else?
I noticed earlier on in the week, Vic put a post up on his Facebook page saying that he'd just been contacted by DPD with regards to was a product that he was being sent TPD compliant.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
it's a tricky deal.
but I noticed every single one of my boxes that comes over from China has yellow tape all over it, and I started calling it the trademark Chinese yellow packing tape, and people were like, no, that's actually customs. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You know what else is?
Sorry, Tony. I can understand it coming from customs if they turn around and contact you and say, is this item TPD compliant? That I can understand. But from someone like UPS or FedEx, because we do get FedEx over here, but for them to actually turn around and send the recipient an email saying, is this covered under, or is this TPD compliant? What the hell? They're paid to deliver the item.
Yeah,
not to
but I
check on the
suppose
item.
they're only just covering their backs.
But that's what
in that
customs
certain sense. Yeah, but obviously it's gone through there. You don't know how it works. But like,
if something comes from abroad, it comes from the airport, gets scanned, which is going through customs. If they don't pick up on it and customs doesn't have a problem with it, why should the courier have a problem with that item? That's what
Well, you know what else?
understand.
What UPS has started to do here, and as a matter of fact, I had to start telling a couple of, and it was just a couple of manufacturers like eLeaf, Wismec, because sometimes they'll ship products that have internal batteries, Innokin. What was happening is that UPS would bring me the package, and then they would say, I can't give you this unless you pay a $30 fee. And I'm like, what's a $30 fee? They show me the invoice, and the invoice actually says there was 11 cents short for customs. And so the 11 cents is the 11 cents I got to pay plus $35 for the brokerage fee. I'm like, so do I tell this company then if they're going to send me something to make sure they pay a little extra in customs? They said no, because they can't tell. I'm like, well, then what the hell? So I just told them, just go to DHL. Stop using UPS, because DHL doesn't do that.
I yelled at Wismec.
they should be charging back Wismec and eLeaf, not me. You know, I mean,
yeah.
you missed the 11 cents, not me.
Yep. I mean, I had a product come shipped from the States that I paid for. And then when it came back, I got a card through saying that I had to pay a handling charge and a customs fee. And that was another £30 on top of what I paid for the item.
Wow.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I don't do, I get a lot of grief for not doing international giveaways. And one of the reasons why I don't do it is because I had done it a couple of times. One time the product never got to the person in the UK. They went on Reddit and complained and said, I don't actually send the prizes. I'm like, dude, I got receipts, man. You know? And then the other person that got it, it was delayed like a month in customs. And when they finally got it, they had to pay a fee. And I was like, I'm sorry guys, but it's a huge pain for you and me, and I don't want to deal with it. So so I don't do international giveaways. People don't realize by the time you pay for everything, you could have bought 3 of them.
That's why it's so tricky, especially for us, because we really want to do giveaways on this channel and on this show, but it's tricky because we have a large UK following, and I have a few of my subscribers that are from the US, and obviously these guys like Mr. Just Right One and Tenacious Texas Vapes, and we see it all the time. People from all over the US are tuning in as well. But to do a giveaway on here is like, okay, well, this is a UK only giveaway and this is a US only giveaway. It's kind of like not fair for everyone kind of thing, and it sucks, but we're gonna have to figure out some sort of system to make it work. But we'll start doing giveaways eventually, I'm sure. But let's kind of steer this in another direction. As far as vape mail is concerned, we do like, Tony, for since this is your first time on the show, we do a little vape mail segment, like what you got in this week, what's coming up in your queue for review and stuff like that. Oh, right. And apparently Jay forgot his. So, so Tony, do you have anything that you want to show off that you may have gotten in this week? Or
well, one of the things that I actually took on my trip to the Dominican Republic, I just got back. I don't usually use these type of things, these little pod systems, but I brought this one. This is it's called the Bird, and it's not an open pod system. You can't put whatever you want in it, but it worked really well. So I'll be reviewing this one and talking a little bit about traveling with vapes. There are some very specific things you can do to ensure that you will still have your stuff when you get to where you're going. So that's one of them. Also, the what is the Kato Stealth? I brought that one along with me. It's a refillable pod system. I couldn't find it before we started the show, but that one works really well. When I do this bird review, I'm going to be giving a bunch of these away as well. So sorry, UK. I will be doing a video on this, the Pulse 80 watt. I know everybody's like, dude, do the effing video on the thing already. You know, one of the reasons why I haven't is because, and this kind of goes with the story that I can tell a little bit later, but I only had the pre-production sample at one point, and I just got these right before I left for the Dominican, which is the almost final retail version of it. And so I don't want to show you something that's not finished, you know, like this, the bottle is actually going to be black and not white, that kind of stuff. So I'm just waiting. I should have a tracking number today for the final versions. As soon as I get them, I'll do the video. And I think that my vpro.com is going to do some giveaways with that video as well. So I don't know about doing a review video for the Altoids things that Dull Dimes Michelle makes. But I want to show them on the channel, so because I just think it's really cool. She took the innards of a Pulse BF mod and created her first squonkable version of a Dull Dimes mod, and she also modified this this OG recoil to put the squonk pin in it and set this thing up. So I thought that was really cool. She is just a super nice lady that, you know, she cares about the vaping community, and when she finds somebody who does things that she likes for the vaping community, then she'll make one for them. And I know, Nick, you got one of those, right?
It's coming in tomorrow. Nice. I can't wait.
I saw pictures of it online.
Yeah.
And right now I probably have about 30, 40 items in the queue, and I'm just deciding what's good. I've been traveling a lot, you know, and it's like, it makes it so hard for me because I'm like, what in the hell? I was going to review this. I'm not going to review this now. This is from Arctic Dolphin. It is a beautiful squonker, right? You know, it's got a nice bottle in it. It has the stab wood and acrylic, and I was so stoked with this thing for like 2 days. I'm using it. Yeah, this is great. This is great. This is great. All of a sudden, just started auto firing, and I can't figure out why. So sorry, Arctic Dolphin. That is out of the queue now. I usually don't take time to review stuff just to slam it. If I don't like it, I don't have freaking time to review all this stuff that I don't like. You know what I mean? So I've had people say before, like, you like everything you review. I'm like, no, I review everything I like.
Yeah. People don't realize that it takes hours to do videos. And it's like, if you don't like something and you're just that unhappy with it that you just want to throw it away, it's not worth your time to review it.
I don't have time, you know? And I'm not here to damage their reputations and brand either, because just one product might have sucked, but that doesn't mean every product that they have is going to suck.
But you can also communicate with them privately through email or whatever.
I do tell them.
This is what happened. This is what I need you to do. If you want to try it again, we'll put it back into the queue as if you send me a different one, because I'm not putting this one in.
Should I tell the Dominican story right now?
Actually, yeah. I mean, that kind of has a little bit to do, and you're kind of hinting at it, so I think people want to hear it.
All right. So, you know, I finally got a vacation to the Dominican Republic. I really love it. I've been there, what, 8 times now. It's actually where I proposed to my wife on the beach at sunrise in Punta Cana. And so I have a special place in my heart for it. And so we went this year. We went with a group of 9 people. And I brought my prototype Pulse 80 watt mod. You know, I like to torture test these things. I've dropped that thing from, you know, I dropped it from 2 stories. It dropped and fell, panels fell off, battery popped out, mod worked great. Everything was really good. I had a great time. Now, when I go on vacation, though, if you've partied with me, you know that I party quite a bit. I like to drink. And I was doing a lot of that in the Dominican. There was a disco that was upstairs, and I'd been to this disco several times and talked to a lot of the same people up there, and they're like, oh, yeah, I know who you are. Yeah, let me see that mod. Oh, everybody's checking it out. Oh, I can't wait to get one. You know, the Pulse 80 watt. That one did not have the Tony B project on the back of it like that, and the 510 connection on it isn't great. We improved it from that, part of the torture testing of it. This particular night, probably the 3rd night we were there, maybe the 2nd night. Anyways, we got really, really drunk. We drank all day, had a great time, got myself showered up and ready to go, took my Pulse 80 watt mod with me. We went to see a magic show. Some of them suggested maybe the magician took it because I was vaping inside there and you're really not supposed to. But so yeah, I was partying, and when we left, I said I got to go to the bathroom, and I went right into the bathroom. I guess everybody else thought they didn't know where I went, so they went on about their business. I came out of the bathroom. I still had the mod from what I remember. Then I walked straight over to the disco, went into the disco, didn't see any of my friends in there, went outside, got a drink at the bar, went downstairs in the elevator, and I went, oh shit, where's my mod? So I went back up, and I went into berserk mode, man. I'm looking for this thing. I'm like, it's kind of like the guy that lost the iPhone 4 in the bar and, you know, sold it to Gizmodo. Not quite as big, but, you know, those kind of things are running through my mind. This thing's going to show up on social media. They're going to say the 510 sucks, you know, all this kind of stuff, you know, because that one wasn't the finished version of it. Yeah, so I never found it. I went back and forth, you know, drunk guy walking back and forth in the lobby all night. Went to the security guys and was like, hey, listen, if it shows up, you know, help me out. But I never found it. That was my own drunk ass fault. What are you going to do? But somebody, and because I'm the only one in the United States or anywhere outside of China that has one, somebody's got a Pulse 80 watt mod right now. And it's a pre-release 80 watt. So I don't know. What are you going to do? And
go ahead.
Everybody was like, dude, you shouldn't drink so much. I'm like, neither should you, man. Where were you at? You know, everybody else was drunk. What are you going to do? Some of the weirdest stuff happens to me when I'm drunk. I do invite weird stuff.
And I can actually attest to the fact that you like to party. You and I have had a good time. I know you, before I got to ECC, you, Demo, and Brett from thecloudyvapor.com spent a night out on the town. And yeah, you're a fun guy to hang out with, Tony. You're a really fun guy to drink with, I'll tell you that.
Well, there you go.
So no harm, no foul. I mean, if you see a hand check pop up that's not your own hand, there you go.
It was kind of funny, though, because I was like, well, I did tell my wife. I said when I was packing the vapes, I was like, well, I'm only bringing stuff that I don't care if I actually lose it. But I didn't think I'd care until I went, ah, dang, my mod is gone.
Well, that's kind of the one thing about traveling so much and everything is you always stand to lose something that you're testing, and that can be sketchy, like real sketchy.
Yep.
So Mike, what do you got for Vape Mail this week? Anything?
Absolutely sweet FA.
Oh, wow. Well, then, this is going to be a short segment then.
About the only thing I have bought this week is the, what do you call it? The Aspire mini Gusto kit for when I'm at work.
Okay.
That's literally all I've done this week.
Show off, Jay. Jay's showing it off. Yeah, he's presented Mike, so. Well, then, Jay, do you have anything?
I do indeed. So I have got.
I can't present you. I think you logged into the account, right?
What? I don't know.
I think you have to present yourself now.
Oh, I don't know what I done. Ah, to get something up. Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah.
I'm saying nothing to that comment, Joe.
So am I presented now?
No,
you're still presenting me.
For God's sake.
You're in charge.
No, I'm not. I've just logged out. Carry on.
Oh, great. Now you're going to screw everything up. You really are.
I don't want to mess with your...
Well, now I can't unpresent anyone.
See, I don't even know how to, so don't ask me.
See what you've done, Jay? See
I can't present no one.
Well, log back in then. Jesus.
Oh, it's too late now. I've already got this in my hand. So, yes.
No one can see it.
Who's presented right now?
Mike.
Mike, stop presenting.
I'm not doing anything. And your icon for being muted keeps on coming up as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I keep saying that.
You really screwed it up. Jay, no, you've done it, man. Mike, you can you elect to stop presenting yourself by clicking the thing? Jay, you're fired.
Thank you.
Well, Nope, he's not letting me do any presenting or nothing.
Bear with us, guys. Slight technical hitch.
Here
we go.
Click your name. Oh! Well, your panel's popped up on my screen. Can I present you now? No. No. Yeah, I don't know what to do.
I don't know. Just can't get the staff now, though, can we?
Well, it's the Mike Show. Hey.
Hey,
come on, Mike. Take it away.
Let's see. Hide. No.
Well, it looked like Joe was trying to hold up the Pulse BF box mod.
No.
Just
No?
have to,
No.
you're gonna just have to narrate everything. Jay, you
Wait.
screwed everything up, dude.
It wasn't me. I'm not even logged in.
Well, your mic icon is fine now. Like, it doesn't pop up that you're muting yourself every
Okay,
second.
I just changed it. I just clicked on him down there, and it says live. Are you live now?
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Well,
Well,
when you click on his panel, it shows up. Like, if I click on you, Tony, it shows up, but it's not broadcasting it. It's only just
Let
your
me try
view.
this.
Okay, so Jay has now dropped out. And I still can't present anyone. Doop-a-doop. Mike, say something.
It's still not letting me change anything.
Wait, now I think Tony's mic icon is like doing a thing, unless he muted himself.
No, mine seems to be normal.
Oh boy.
Is it just Hangouts having a hissy fit?
YouTube's been crazy lately. I don't know what's been going on, but YouTube is being really ridiculous for me. I had a vlog go live and it wasn't uploading it into like 1080p. It was like stuck at 360.
Yep.
So
Joel's basically saying we're having Stan issues.
Oh, we really are. I mean, this is worse than Stan because now we have to look at your ugly mug, Mike.
Yeah, you're going to end up with cracked screen soon.
I love when this is happening. This is great. Great content.
And so you can't blame me because this is not my show.
No, but your internet like finally warmed up, I guess.
Yeah, my internet's working now.
Well, we can hear Tony B with the voice of Tony B.
The disembodied voice.
Yeah. And I don't know where Jay's gone. I hope he can even get back in the room.
No, that's a freaking idea.
And I can't leave, I don't think.
No, you can't because you started.
We're good.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, Jay, stay off the show. You're fired. Oh, crap. Now he's here.
Oh, here he is.
Now we got two of them.
Here's the deal. No one present anyone for the rest of the show. That's going to happen.
There you go.
And now we have two Jays and no camera. And Tony B's mic icon is flashing like he's muted.
Am I muted? I don't.
You're not muted, though. You're not muted. You're good.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Man.
So let's just Hangouts takes having a hissy fit.
Well, we'll wait for Jay. The only thing I got in this week for Vape Mail is some Twisted Messes wire and shirts because, as most of you have heard by now, I'm going to be sponsored by Twisted Messes for the Fresh Build Friday series, which is pretty exciting. So now I'm not hurting for wire. I've got a whole box full of Twisted Messes wire.
That's some wire right there, man.
You'll be seeing all of this beautiful, shiny stuff on my channel at some point in time.
I remember back, Nick and I pretty much started kind of doing our channels around the same time. And I remember like looking at his builds going, dude, I'll never be able to do that. Now, I still can't create my own alien wire and all of that kind of stuff. But, I learned how to put them in. I learned how to install them. So I'm pretty good at it. So I still very much admire what you do, man.
You're a coil installer. You're a professional coil installer.
Yes, I can do that. And even at that, I'm not a professional. That's why you don't see me build a lot on camera because I take a long time to build. I'm sorry. That's just how I am, Well, I'm like,
building should kind of take a while. You shouldn't be just doing a quick build, like people always tell me to do build videos for every single review that of stuff that's rebuildable. I'm just like, yeah, but my process is different. I'm not going to like make a piece of wire, wrap it, and then put it in. Like if I'm going to do any sort of build videos on my review videos, then I'm going to do pre-mades. Sorry, but that's just the way it would have to be because it takes me a while and I would probably just fast forward through it anyways, but that's like the most boring thing ever. Like, I don't know. I don't really want to do it. I've never done it before and I don't plan on doing it. So there's that.
Some people are very, they want to see those builds. And I'm like, I don't know. If it's something that is a really weird build or something that's odd that, it takes them a while to do it, then, or, there's like some technique to building it. Like how the hell do you build that? Then I might, but I usually just shy away from it. I'm like, I don't know, man. That's.
I mean,
That's not
most people are here to see the product. They want to see
right.
what you get. They want to see, some people want to see the box, what's in the box, and they want to see the build deck up close and personal. They want to see all the intricacies of it before they buy it. You know, most people have their minds made up before they even watch review videos, I feel like.
Yeah, I
And
think you're probably right.
most people just need that tipping point. Like, okay, I got 30 bucks or 40 bucks in my hand, looking for an RDA. Let's see what this person has to say.
Well, you know, when I started the channel too, that was one of the things is that one of the things that inspired me to start a channel in the first place is that my mother had bought me my first vape. I was, you know, able to smoke in high school because my mom also signed my smoking pass. So, you know, everybody smoked in my house. But when she came to visit me and she said, you know, hey, I have a vape for you, and it's actually a little bit better than that stuff you've tried. It was a VV Nova Mini and a Ego pen, and it actually worked. Within 2 weeks, I was off of the cigarettes. So, you know, to me, it was important that I started looking at these videos, and it's okay, man. Everybody has their own style. But if my mother had seen a video where some dude's like, "Stay sexy, motherfuckers," and you know, all that kind of shit, my mom would have been like, "Nah, I'm probably not going to watch that, and I'm probably not going to vape." And
Right.
so I thought, well, why don't I also videos like I remember the VV Nova Mini, P. Basardo, respect, man. But the video that he did for the VV Nova Mini was 45 minutes long. 5 minutes is all he needed. I came from a radio background, so I looked at it like, is there a way for us to make shorter videos that get all the information in there that is really necessary without going on and on for too long? Yeah, there is. So that's what I did. And I thought maybe 2,000 subscribers. You know, Nick, you knew me when I had 200 subscribers.
I knew you when you had 0. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so
Spin fuel
it was, yeah, spin fuel. Huh? And anyways, it worked out. And I think that I fill a space for, you know, somebody that might want to watch a video that doesn't have the cursing, that goes a lot faster, that gets all that information in there. And that's fine. That doesn't mean that the other guys aren't okay. You know, I mean, if I could, I'd be on there and be like, oh, this fucking fish. I curse. Okay. I do in real life.
You can swear on this channel, by the way. This is independent.
Yeah.
But you and I have a very similar kind of style. Like, I've been kind of trimming my videos down a little bit over time. And I think it's kind of due to the fact that I stayed on Spin Fuel a lot longer than you did, Tony. They were asking for 20 to 30-minute videos for product reviews. They said, yeah,
I remember
20 to 30-minute videos. I'm like, I don't think I can make a 20 to 30-minute video, let alone like, you know, edit and produce, and just like, what do I have to talk about for 30 freaking minutes? So after I left Spin Fuel, I kind of just like had to start trimming and just kind of rework my style, because you get into this groove and it's like you just rattle things off like you always do. And then I had to kind of slowly just kind of like trim it down and just say what I have to say, and that's it, you know, get it done. But I don't swear on my normal review videos, so you can watch them in vape shops. People can put them on their televisions. You know, you can watch them anywhere, and it's going to.
You don't have to worry about the kids or whatever, which I think is good. You know, it's funny about Spin Fuel. I remember at one point they said to me, they go, well, we're going to send the hardware to Nick because we think Nick is more of a hardware reviewer. We think you're a juice reviewer. And I was like, excuse me? That whole thing, you know, it was. But listen, I want to say that to John's credit from Spin Fuel, he did say to me, he goes, you know, Tony, I think that you should probably go off on your own, because I think you're going to have a popular channel and you're not going to want to do what we want you to do. And I was like, if that's what you think. So to his credit, he knew that. And he said, you should probably just go on your own way. I went, okay, I will. And that's when I started doing more videos and set up a studio and
you just smashed it from there. You smashed it. Dude. Yeah. I mean, looking back, I mean, we all have choices, and I mean, I don't regret doing anything with Spin Fuel. Spin Fuel actually helped me out a lot. You know, they were part of the reason I ever met you in the first place. And, you know, I think you and I had our own agenda when it came to that whole thing, which didn't really align with Spin Fuel's. And it's like, I want to do my videos my way for my reasons. And, you know, they were trying to help me get product, but they always sent me stuff that I didn't want to look at ever.
Or that was too late. It's like, well, and to that end, it's never too late, because I've seen people comment on some of your videos. Oh, well, Nick, this is done. Why are you even doing a video on this? I'm like, no, it's not done until I want, sometimes I just couldn't get around to it until now. Or maybe I didn't think it was going to do well, so I didn't really look at it. And then after people started liking it, I decided to look at it. We do these things at our own pace, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is, like, I have a queue just like you, Tony, about probably 20 to 30 products, and I get through them one by one. I have a full-time job where I work 50 hours a week at a vape shop, and I do my videos after I close the shop. So to take, 6 hours out of every day to set aside for recording, editing, uploading, making thumbnails, all that stuff, not to mention the 45-minute vlog that I do once a week.
Right.
It's very time consuming. And I still, at this point, I'm doing 3 review videos a week, a 45-minute vlog, and a build video. So it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot.
I don't think people realize it, though. They're like, oh, man, you get all that free stuff. I'm like, is it free? Because when I get it, I know that I'm going to have to spend 6 to 8 hours putting together a video, answering comments, and doing all that. It's not free. And by the way, my day job, I run a photo, video, and voiceover business. And I do TV commercials and things like that. So if I were to do an instructional video for a client that wanted me to show how to use their product, I would charge them at least $1,200. I'm not making $1,200 to do a video for Smoke Tech. I mean, that's not how it works.
Right.
So it's not free if it's going to cost me my time.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing is you're working. When you're doing a review, it's technically work. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to do. It's fun to interact with people on YouTube. But at the end of the day, it is kind of like work. You're putting forth effort and time aside to look at a product to post on YouTube to potentially make no money if it gets demonetized. But that's a whole other story.
Dude, almost every one of my videos is demonetized now. I'll just tell you, I used to make around $1,200 a month on a good month from views. I don't make now enough to actually get a check from Google now.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
A lot of months. It's like, because you have to make at least $100 in that month. And if your video is like that little yellow dollar sign, that means that only the commercials that do play are like, some 80-year-old dude with, washboard abs. He's like, take testosterone. And, and people don't watch those, man. So we don't make money off of that stuff.
And not only that, I mean, you're talking Mike's channel here, Mike's Mex. He's got a little over 500 subscribers. Right. And now they just changed the rules for YouTube. You have to have, what is it, Mike?
1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers and 40 hours.
4,000 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that happened to me because I have 2 other channels. I have the Picky Eater channel, which I'm a picky eater for life. I'm in my 40s and I eat like a 3-year-old. But that channel was doing okay. I was almost up to $100, and then they demonetized the channel completely by not for content, just because I don't have enough views on there. I haven't had time to do videos on that channel, so there's not enough views. So they said, nope, sorry. And I have 2,000 subscribers on there, so I have enough, just not enough hours.
Yeah. Jeez, that's just crazy. It's really bringing down the little guy, and that sucks because YouTube used to be like, hey, broadcast yourself. It's for everyone. And now it's like, you want to make a buck? You better work for it, boy. It's like, damn. I don't know.
In the meantime, they're still benefiting from it because they are still getting content. YouTube needs content in order to be viable. And so, a vape channel that gets thousands of views and still makes no money, that's pretty crappy. Which is what's driving a lot of people to Patreon. I just haven't done Patreon because I feel like I want to be completely accessible all the time. I don't want to do like only my Patreon viewers can see this unboxing. And that's okay. I get it. For the people that are doing it, it seems to be working for them. But I have a lot of work as it is. Adding that on top of it, I don't know. Look, I have in my descriptions for my videos a PayPal me address. If you want to send me a donation, please feel free to do that. But,
it's funny because I just started my Patreon, and I mean, I'm not expecting anything major, and it's just something to help me out basically, because I don't know. The whole demonetization thing, 90% of my videos are completely demonetized, and I haven't made money off of YouTube in months and months and months. Not that I'm really expecting to in the first place, but it's nice to have a little bit of a bonus because recording equipment's expensive. I have, you know, a webcam and a microphone just here at the house, you know, not to mention all the stuff that I have at the studio back at the shop. And it's expensive stuff. It's not cheap. And it was just a nice, helpful way. And, you know, with stuff like stickers, I have stickers that I put out, you know, just something to help me out a little bit because I love giving away my stickers. And, you know, just at conventions and whatnot, just put a whole table full of them out there, which I do pay out of my own pocket. I don't, you know, I used to use YouTube money for that. And since I haven't made any, I made a Patreon. But yeah, I've got a couple of patrons.
I have one. I just haven't fleshed it out because I'm like, is this really something that I want to take on now? I mean, it can be a lot of work. And I'm like, man, I just, you know, already my life is consumed by vape. Do I want to add another layer of that? I don't know.
The only thing you said that it takes up more time and this and that, and like for people not to be able to see certain content. Really, what I'm offering for Patreon people is a first look at what I'm going to be doing anyways. So it's like, hey guys, I've got this project I'm working on. I'll let you guys know now. Other people will learn in a week or so, you know, that kind of thing. It's more interaction, more personal interaction. And it's also a way for me to do like a little private live stream for like a dozen people or so, my patrons, you know. And that way it's just super personal and it's a way for them to interact with me a lot better, you know, more so than anything else. Facebook, Instagram, all the other social medias combined. This is their way to ask me the questions that are burning and to get my full dedicated attention. So I don't know.
Yeah, that might be a good way for me to do that because I can't answer comments like I used to. Like I used to answer every comment, but I can't do it. Yeah,
you just get too many. It's at the point that you're getting hundreds of comments a day and you're just like, oh my God, I'm sorting through the ones. And it's kind of like you've got to be cautious when commenting because if you comment on one person and not another person, that other person might get mad at you. Like, well, what the hell? I already asked this question. It's like,
right.
Sorry. But it's a slippery slope there. You can't make everyone happy at the end of the day.
We try though, and I truly do care, and that's the thing, you know. I mean, that's just my nature. I want to be there. I want to be accessible. That's one of the things when I worked in radio. I answered every phone call that came into that radio station. You know, I answered every one of them, and I would record the phone calls and play them back and use them in different ways and things. And I think that's what helped me in radio to be successful. So I'm like, you know, I mean, I feel like I owe it to you. You watch the channel. I want to give you that respect of an answer back, but I can't do it, man, all the time. Yeah. You know, but I do. Usually for the first maybe 4 or 5 hours after the video goes up, I will answer every question. Then after that, it's like if there's a real question, I'll answer it. You know, I may give you a thumbs up or, you know, smiley face or something like that emoji, but you know, I can't. Just know, guys, I care. I just can't do it all the time, man.
Yeah, and it's tough, you know, because I work a full-time job and I have to dedicate my attention to that. And when I'm doing that, it's like I'm with a customer or something. I'll get an email notification that a comment pops up. By the time I'm done with that customer, it's already like my brain is onto something else. But I try to make time, and I really want to like just have like 2 hours where I just go through every single comment like once a week, just answer all those. But if I can't, I mean, usually, like you said, you take the first couple hours after a video comes out and you answer the ones that get in there early because it's kind of a reward for the notification squad.
Exactly.
All right. And let's see. Let's take a look at chat. We haven't been really paying attention to chat here, so let's just get a little kind of a Tony B Q&A sort of thing going on. I kind of want everyone to ask Tony B some questions in chat right now.
I just want to go over one thing that someone did say in chat. Someone, Jay Shimmer, said that you guys deserve to make money off of doing this. For me personally, it's not about making money. I pay money to do this. I pay for everything that I review. I had to pay for a computer to be able to do this because my old computer was complete and utter crap and couldn't handle it. Everything that you see on my channel, I have actually paid for.
And that will remain true for the time being. However, I'm telling you right now, Mike, when your channel grows, once you get over 1,000, you're going to get attention. Once you get over certain milestones, and you get a lot more attention from vendors and whatnot. So
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I personally do not do my channel to make money. That's
oh,
not
right,
what I'm
right, right.
about.
Oh, I got
That's
you.
totally not what I'm about. That's why I go
Oh
to
yeah.
work, and that's
I
why
don't
I
think
drive my
any.
coach.
I don't think any of us do. You know, when it gets to the point where the channel is as large as my channel, and I've got 50 emails a day from Chinese companies and all of that kind of stuff, it kind of gets to the point where like it's taking over, and I can't do as much of my. I run my business myself, so it's my own business, Island Shore Productions. I do TV commercials and all that kind of stuff, photography, product photography and stuff. But when it gets to the point where this is taking over that, you're making a lot of content, and there should be some kind of compensation, whether that's from your viewers or whether that's from putting out a product, which is what I did. I mean, I was like, look, I started working. Go ahead.
I was going to say, don't get me wrong. If I get to a stand, if my channel gets to a point where companies want to send me something to review, then to me that's all well and good.
Right.
But for me personally, the item that they send me is payment for me doing the review, if you get what I mean. I don't want money for me to put my opinion on YouTube to say their product is good or their product is bad.
Well, I think it comes down to then basically the whole Q bump situation, which that's what a lot of people are doing nowadays. And I don't blame them for that, because like Tony said earlier about my videos, is that sometimes people say, well, oh, Nick, this device is dead. It's old. Why do you review old stuff? And I'm like, dude, I just got to it in my queue. I've been working on product after product after product after weeks of testing and stuff like that. And eventually it's like, it's basically now to the point that if you don't get it done the week after they announce a product, then you're stuck. You're not going to get any views. You're not going to get any traffic on your reviews or anything like that. So it's tough, but that's why a lot of people are doing the queue bumps, where the company will pay you a little bit to bump it up to the top. Get that video done, and after a week's worth of testing, and you'll remain current and all that. So I don't know. It's a tricky topic to tackle here, but I mean, I'm more than willing to entertain it if people are offering, but I just don't get a lot of offers.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, from my standpoint, if a company wants their products, like the how can I put it? If they want their product known about straight away, sort of thing, surely they should send it to the people that are going to put their opinion out on it earlier than the release date.
Yeah.
That way it's known about before it actually comes out. And if there is an issue with it, then that can be dealt with before it actually hits the shelf. Rather than having
I do have a lot of companies. I do have a lot of companies that will send me products to beta test. They're like, okay, well, this is something we've got coming out. Would you mind taking a look at it? And I'm like, okay, well, so you're asking my professional opinion on a product, and you're going to use that professional opinion to improve your product. What's in it for me? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm getting at.
That's a whole different story altogether, though. That's actually getting paid for a service.
Yeah.
You're basically hired as a secondary designer, practically.
Pretty much.
Right. So, all right, let's move on. I want to really get the chat rolling here. I want to get some interaction, because we've been ignoring them all night, and I feel bad. So I do apologize if we missed any questions. We'll all be kind of sorting through these messages here. And any questions for Tony B? Anything?
One of the questions I know, the Big Dripper has been asking. He's like, man, he clearly can't see my comments. Well, I can. It's just I can't answer them all. I will probably not be at Expo in Birmingham, because my grandmother is turning 100 years old. And I believe that weekend is her 100th birthday. And, family is most important to me. I will be there for my grandmother's 100th birthday. As far as Vape Jam in London goes, yes, I will be at Vape Jam in London. in April, and I'm going to be doing 2 Q&A sessions. I know that for sure. They're bringing me out, so yeah, so I'll be doing that, and whatever else they ask me to do. You know, I'm kind of I'm there for them. So hopefully by then my new flavor for the liquid line will be out in the UK, and I know by then that the Pulse 80 watt will be there. It probably will not be at Foxwoods. I know people are like, is it going to be at Foxwoods? Probably not, but the liquid will be at Foxwoods.
There you go. So you're going to be at what, Signature Tips? Where are you going to be at for Foxwoods? What booth?
For Foxwoods, I'm kind of going there on my own, but Kinetic Labs is my lab for my juice, and I will spend some I'll spend some time over there with Alex. Alex is one of my partners actually, so I will be, you know, he will have it in the booth there, and listen, they're a great place to work with. They have got their ducks in a row, TPD, FDA, all that stuff. So I love working with them. What brand is my e-liquids? It is called Sugar Lips.
You can put a link in chat if you want.
Yeah, I'll do that. Let me just pull up a link for that.
While you do that, go ahead.
But yeah, Sugar Lips is the line, and I'm trying to pull this up right now, and I'll put it over here in chat. But there's 3 flavors. You got Blue Pucker, which is basically a blue raspberry Slurpee with no cooling agents. Does have a little bit of sour in there. Every one of my flavors has something to do with me, right? So I loved as a kid, and I still love to this day, a blue raspberry icy or Slurpee, whatever. I like to let it melt, and that, you know, the syrupy stuff at the bottom, oh, that's heaven to me. So that's what we put that one out as. Each one of them has a smile type name to it. So Blue Pucker. Then the second one was Pineapple. And I mentioned earlier that I'm a picky eater. I have a channel on YouTube called Picky Eater Channel. And it's somewhat embarrassing. It's laying my soul bare to everybody to see my weird propensities with food. But pineapple is a food that I thought I always hated. And then I started vaping pineapple and went, I think I like pineapple. So I tried it. Now I can't get enough pineapple. So that's what that flavor is. That one's called Tropical Smile. And the third one is Dirty Grin, which is getting released now. And Dirty Grin is basically a cereal with berries, milk, and marshmallows. A little bit different than the ones that you've tried. There are other ones out there, yes. And again, that's one of my favorite vapes. I have like 5 different ones: Berry Milky, Crunch Time Berry, Crunch Time, that I love. So I wanted to have my own. And that's what we came up with. So.
Nice. I know I actually gave Mike the remainder of my bottle of Blue Pucker because he loved it so much when I went to London.
Yep. And I bought a bottle when I was at the Signature Tip stand at Expo as well.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
You got a question in chat here, Tony. There's been a lot of prices posted about the Pulse 80 watt. Do you have a final price locked in?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, I'm going to put, here's a link that I'm just putting in chat right now for the e-liquid. If you're in the UK, Signature Tips also sells it, 100 ml bottles, and they're distributing for the UK. So the price on the Pulse 80 watt, I can't say a lot because there's just some background stuff, okay? But I'll just tell you that when you're working with OEM manufacturers, that's outside engineering and manufacturing, like we did with the chip, sometimes you're at the mercy of the company that manufactures that part, okay? We were under the impression that we were going to have a certain price on the chip, so we put out the prices. When we were at ECC, we said it's going to be somewhere between $60 and $75, including a 30 ml refill bottle for Vanity Vape. Well, unfortunately, when Chinese New Year was over, we found out that there was a slight increase in the price of the chip, which, you know, unfortunately, kind of has to be passed on to the consumer. You know, these companies, they have set amounts of profit that they have to make, and that's just how it is. So what has happened now is we put out 2 versions of it because I was very emphatic about having that 30 ml refill bottle included. So what they had to do is, first of all, the resin panels, they just cost more to manufacture than carbon fiber, all right? So there is 2 carbon fiber versions and there are 3 resin versions, okay? Different colors and whatever. Then there are they're calling it the high-end version, has the 30 ml refill bottle in it, and those prices are around $85 for the resin panels, and for the carbon fiber one, it's around $75. So it's not that much more. It's like maybe $10 more than what we were quoting as a possible price range. But I think really, listen, I paid for a DNA 75 mod from Italy $350. Okay, that's because that's all I could find. So at $80, $85, this is still a really great deal. It has the gene chip in it, so everybody knows and loves that gene chip. I fought for the gene chip because I thought, well, we're not known at Vandy Vape for making chips yet, which I'll just tell you that they have chips in the works, their own chips that are actually very good. But yeah, so so in the future, you may see a Vandy Vape mod with a Vandy Vape chip that is, as I say, really good. I've tested one, and I think it's really good. But for this one, the gene chip is what we wanted to put out there, and I think that's it's also a regulated 2700. Just so you know, the DNA 75 base squonkers are cheaper than that. Not really. What, the inbox maybe, because it's been out there for a long time. I'm answering questions from chat.
Go for it, man. That's what we're doing right now. Actually, real quick,
Ken had a good question actually.
Before that, real quick. Pineapple on pizza, Tony. Yes or no?
Yes, definitely. Pineapple on pizza with bacon.
There you go.
Good, yeah.
All right.
Prefer white sauce though if you're going to do pineapple.
It sounds pretty good. I'd do it. Just any pineapple on pizza. I love it. All right, Mike.
Mike, what was your question?
Right, Vaping with Ken that says, super awesome vape show. Question for the whole panel. Do you find that vaping can curb your appetite or replace candy for a sweet tooth?
Yes, absolutely.
I think so.
I used to have a real bad sweet tooth. Go ahead, Mike.
I have a friend that he's diabetic and he never smoked, but he picked up vaping 0 milligram because when he had that craving for sweets, he would hit that. And I was like, well, look, man, I don't really recommend it to people that aren't trying to quit smoking, but if that works for you, go for it. So,
yeah. And plus, if you're vaping juice with nicotine in it, the nicotine is also an appetite suppressant.
True.
I wouldn't recommend picking up vaping if you do not smoke cigarettes to curb your appetite. I will put that out there. I think every one of us will agree with that. But
yeah, damn right. Vaping is not a fashion accessory.
Yeah. So, yeah. I used to have a real bad sweet tooth. Like I would just eat candy every single day, soda nonstop. And since I quit smoking and started vaping, I barely eat candy anymore. Barely ever. I mean, I used to eat like Skittles all the time and Twizzlers and all that stuff, Starburst. I couldn't get enough of it, but now I just vape my candy flavors. Done deal.
Not being funny, I've got my snacks there for the after show.
Hey, I will tell you this. I love the snacks in the UK, and I'm going to do an episode on the Picky Eater channel just about that because chips and chocolates and, oh man, Space Raiders are my favorite chip over there, the beef flavored Space Raiders in the UK. And I also like the prawn chips that I guess the Walker makes those.
Prawn cocktail.
Yeah, prawn cocktail. I love those. I've got two bags in the other room.
There you go.
Yeah, did you get a Kinder Egg when you were over here, Tony?
I didn't get a Kinder Egg, but I did get some Kinder chocolate. I brought home some, even Kit Kats and stuff are different there than they are here. They're much better.
Different there. It's awesome.
Yeah,
yeah. I think we have 3 different types of Kit Kat here now: dual finger, 4 finger, and the chunky.
Oh damn! What? I gotta get some of those next time I'm over there.
Yes, they're right. They're crisps. Sorry,
yes,
not chips. I love the crisps.
I've learned so much.
Our chips come from a fish and chip shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. That's right. And I did have some very good fish and chips when I was over there.
I didn't get a chance to. I'm so mad. Like I barely ate anything. did have a proper English breakfast though, which I'm happy about.
Well, I told you when you're over for the London Vape Show, Nick, I'll take you to a decent chippy in London.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do know one just off of the Holborn, which is not for too far.
There we go. Let's see. Beef Monster Munch. Oh, those are like munchy, like crisp things, right?
Yeah, very much similar to the Space Raider type things.
See, just right over my head.
They're more of a corn-spaced crisp rather than a potato base.
Gotcha. Let's see. Any more questions for him? Let's see. Have you tried the prime rib flavored chips from 7-Eleven? Really? That's a thing? That's a question for you, Tony.
Yeah, I watch out for the stuff from 7-Eleven. If it's their brand stuff, I'm like,
You just never know.
But, as a picky eater, chip or crisps are a big part of your diet. Oh, look, there's Jay.
Fucking hell.
Oh, my God.
Live vape and no internet is back.
Fuck yeah.
Live vape and mess up the show.
It's you. I'm blaming you.
We still have a random super awesome vape show profile with no video coming through here. I blame you for that. I'm afraid to kick it.
Don't even.
Don't present anyone. Don't mute anyone for the rest of the show. Let's see. Empire is off tonight. He's going and visiting his mother-in-law. Chips and gravy, Nick. Chips and gravy. Oh,
chips and gravy. Yes.
Sounds delicious. Sounds like poutine.
Yes.
Love me some poutine.
I do too.
Chips and gravy is not good.
What?
Why? You're mad.
Like, chips and curry sauce for down here in London. That's good.
Chips, pie, and gravy.
Pie and mash, says Vape Finder.
Pie and mash without the liquor. Ugh.
And you are not kidding, Matt Chandler. You cannot beat a transport cafe for a proper full English fry-up.
Oh, yeah. Or one of Mike's 1 penny breakfasts that make me gag and sick.
No, that's just the motorway services. That's not a truck stop. That was a Harry Ramsden breakfast.
Lena Cookie says, peanut butter chunky Kit Kats. You have that? What the hell? Get on it, America. Jeez. Peanut butter chunky Kit Kats. That sounds amazing.
Yes, that is the best one out of the lot.
God, let's see. You guys are all talking about food. Now you're making me hungry. Damn.
My stomach's starting to grumble here.
We got a store over here where you can get like the Americans. There's an American section in there. I go there all the time. My kids love it. Like the Runts and the Mike's Ikes and Twizzlers.
Mike's Ikes. That's Mike's other channel.
Mike and Ikes. Is it Mike and Ikes?
Yeah, Mike and Ikes.
They're wicked. I love them. Mike and Ikes. What else is there? Obviously all the Hershey's chocolate bars are there. The Reese's Pieces and
what? Vape Finder Tommy says cheese on toast with sliced banana.
Ew.
What?
That just sounds wrong.
Well,
that's even worse than pineapple on pizza.
That's
something that Elvis Presley made famous in America. He would always have the banana and peanut butter grilled cheese.
Yep.
Just wrong.
I'll try it. Screw
That's
it.
just wrong.
Screw it.
Memphis,
I'll try it.
Yeah, I worked in radio in Memphis for 4 years, so I definitely tried that there. They have some of the best fried chicken, though, boy. You like fried chicken? That's good stuff.
So
over here, we either have KFC, which is Kentucky Fried Chicken, or we just have Dirty Fried Chicken.
KFC is out of chicken over there in the UK, right?
No, they're back in stock again now.
Oh,
No.
good.
The one up by my work, it's got no chicken wings, no popcorn chicken, no side orders apart from gravy.
Yeah, but that's in Essex.
Yeah, but still, it's like, how can they run out of chicken? I think it was just a big publicity stunt to say, yeah, we've run out of it to make everybody want it.
Yeah,
That's
they're
not a
all
bad
over the
idea.
news. Yeah, they're all over the news.
Even here.
Yeah, anytime something like that happens. Oh, everyone's still talking about food. Let's get some real questions for Tony B. We have a special guest here, very special guest that we are not taking a full advantage of.
Hey, I got a question for you. Have you seen this here, Nick? All right, so this is a Entheon, right? And then I've got the Hadion cap for it. So it's done to be like a Hadley.
Yeah.
And when you get it, it gets these little black plugs that you put in there to plug the middle of the Entheon base. And you put it out, and dude, I gotta tell you, I didn't love the Entheon for some reason. I wasn't getting the best hit. But once I put that Hadion on there, oh man, that just it looks great too.
Who makes it?
It's made by Cyclone Mods.
Oh really?
Yeah, they just released it.
That's pretty neat.
Vape Finder said we're testing your resolve on the vape hunger suppressant theory here.
Seriously, everyone vape.
That's a good point. All right, so Joe McIntyre is asking, what's my favorite squonker I own? Probably this right here. This is the Limelight Gloom. It is, well, it's basically an unregulated mod, but it does have a MOSFET in it. It's made in Serbia, and it is, man, they do stab wood versions of it. They have a white version of it that's white Delrin. But I just, the shape and form of this thing is just, oh, so nice.
That just looks so ergonomic.
Right, and even where this is the switch right here, it's just, everything just rolls. It's so nice and smooth, and you just push down, and there you go. Wow. It's really nice. I love it. And of course, I got the Pulse 24 and matte black on there. Anybody that's tuning in now that wasn't here in the beginning, a lot of people were kind of gutted that they could not get the Pulse 24 in matte black without buying the Pulse BF kit. Well, I pushed Vandy Vape. They heard you, and you can now get the matte black Pulse 24 without buying the kit. So that's a nice little change. What they tell you to do though is make sure that the vendor that you're getting it from has the matte black version of it, because if they have old stock, it might actually be a painted black one. But any new orders for the black Pulse 24 are going to be the matte black, and it looks really good on a lot of different things. I love this mod. So it's Chinese.
Well, you have let's go and try to go in order here as best as we can. James Franklin said, "What's your favorite RDA?"
Favorite RDA, dude? Okay, this will sound totally like it's just because I designed it, but the Pulse 24. I have access to everything that's out there. I mean, I love the recoil. I like the Entheon with the Hadion cap. I like more airy draws though, and when I designed the Pulse 24, I designed it for how I like to vape. Because I was like, who knows? Maybe it won't sell at all, but I'll have what I want, So that's how I designed it. It's an airy draw, yes. I prefer to do a single coil build most of the time, which is what I've got in here right now. Nice beefy single coil build. This comes out to 0.14, I think is what that is right now, and it works really good. What I like about this one is that okay, people come up with very fancy posts and like, my posts do this and my posts do that and all this stuff, which is great. I'm not knocking it at all. But for me, no posts at all. I used to go, oh, I hate postless decks, but there's so much room. I could do so much with this thing. And some of the pictures that I've seen with the builds that people have done, these nice dual coil builds that it looks like the coils and the cotton are just nestled in there between the tubes. It's so beautiful.
I've seen gorgeous pictures of the Pulse 24.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I tend to, I try all the other ones out, and I do have other ones. I mean, I got the Flav on this one here. I like that one a lot. But when I gravitate towards the setups that I use every day, it's always going to be a Pulse 24 right now, because I just haven't found anything that I like personally better.
So Nate Wilson asks, have you ever used the Aeronaut before?
I have not. I would like to. I have not used the Aeronaut. No.
And Tony, what process did you go through before deciding on that circuit break on the Pulse?
Well, that's a funny question, because you're talking about the original one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they did not want to do the typical piece of metal touching the 510. I was happy with that. I was like, just do that. Better to make it something other than copper, but that's what I thought would be the best bet. They really, because they deal with consumers. They were like, I don't know that we want to do metal touching metal like that. We have a switch, and I was like, okay, I want to see this switch. And when I got the switch, they sent me a pre-production sample with the switch. I was like, this is not bad. I noticed that there was a little bit of voltage drop in there because of back up a little bit. They wanted to have a breaker in there, some way to turn that off. And they couldn't do it with that switch with turning an outside thing or something like that. And I told them, I said, like the old Bugs Bunny cartoons, how they had like the big circuit breaker thing, you just go chink, and it had like little clips that the thing would clamp into, and they did not know what I meant. So I sent them literally a picture from a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
No way.
That it had that, and they went, oh, yeah, we could do that. So they sent me that pre-production model. It had that on there. I noticed a little bit of voltage drop. I took the same Addy. Yes, that right there. So I took the same Addy and put it on 2 different mods, but one was a high-end mod, and I was like, okay, I got to remember, this is a $40 consumer-driven mod, something so that everybody can try squonking. Because at the time, every time I try to find a good squonker, it was $300 or more. Or I might have to go to a Facebook group and win a chance to buy one for $300. And I was like, I just want to bring it to the masses, which that model is okay. It's perfectly fine. And I have done that, many times. But I wanted to put out something that everybody could get their hands on. So when I saw that there was a tiny bit of voltage drop, it didn't hit quite as hard. All I said was, if I build it a little bit lower, it's fine. And the fact that we actually have a switch to completely turn it off, I think is also great.
I think that's better than the fact that, I'll take a little bit of voltage drop for that little bit more safety.
Right. And so that's where it came from. And, designing with China, it's a long, arduous process of Skyping at 1 o'clock my time in the morning. Okay. Because that's when they're working. Yep. And so I would have to go to bed early, wake up at, midnight, wait for their Skype to come in, and then they'd send me images or they'd send me a 3D CAD. I'd look at it and I go, that kind of thing. So the pulse was drawn by me. That's how that came about. I drew the thing out and sent that to them. They 3D CAD'd it. So it's a long process. So in the end, you start going, okay, you know what? If it works, that's fine. Can we keep the price under $40? Okay. You get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It's just not that I gave in on things, but there were things that I was like, that's a battle that I don't need to fight. You kind of
have to. You have to give and take because they know what works and you know what you want, and you kind of have to just kind of come to that agreement. So Vape Finder says, besides the Chinese, who's your shout for the best hardware producing countries you've dealt with / seen?
Oh, geez. Russia, Serbia, some of the best stuff I've seen comes out of those countries. This right here comes out of Serbia, the Gloom, Limelight, and I absolutely love it. I have a Russian squonk that I don't even know what the name is. Revolver, I think is what they call it. It's a beautiful mod, but I can't even remember the name of the company. So yeah, there's a lot. There's Kronig that's out of Sweden that I think is really nice. There's American companies. I haven't seen as many things coming out of America that I personally had in my hands. You know what I mean? Yeah. Armageddon, they're good. So I don't know. I don't want to pit anybody against each other either.
You're too nice, Tony. Jeez.
I am a nice guy. Okay. I'm the nice guy at vaping. What do you want?
So Joel asks, Mr. Just Right One, he said, pulse matching drip tips like Vupu Drag is doing with the U-Force?
You mean matching the resin?
Right.
I don't know. We haven't done that yet because we're not doing a kit yet. And one of the reasons why we're not doing a kit is because there's a kit that includes the bottle, the refill bottle. But the reason why we haven't done that is because it's like, well, okay, the mod is already going to be pretty pricey. And, again, that's when you're dealing with a third-party manufacturer, you're at their mercy. When they say this is how much a chip is going to cost, that's how much a chip is going to cost, And so now if we add an RDA on top of that, we're talking over $100. And, I think that's going to break the threshold of a lot of people. The other thing is this. Squonking has become more mainstream and popular over the last year, which I'd like to think I had a big hand in because, the different products they put out. So I think that most people are probably going to, yes, I do swear like a trooper off camera, bro. You know that. I did a little bit earlier. Anybody that wants to rewind, you'll see. But yes, I think that most people are already going to have one of their favorite squonking RDAs. There's a lot of very good ones out there. The Nudge is good. The Dead Rabbit. I like the Dead Rabbit SQ better than I like the original Dead Rabbit. The Drop, the Iconic. There's a lot. So it's kind of like, now they did talk about putting out a kit that has the Maze RDA in it, and people go, fuck the Maze. I don't like the Maze. All that kind of stuff, but the thinking behind that, if we were to do that, because even I was like, that seems like a weird choice. But the thinking behind that is very simple thinking, okay? A lot of people are afraid to do squonking because maybe they can't build. Maybe they're, disabled. Maybe they can't see well. Maybe their hands don't work well for arthritis or whatever. Or maybe there's somebody that's just like, dude, I feel so unsafe building. I want to try that squonking, but I can't do it. Well, the Maze has a little disc coil that you just screw that on there. They work quite well. I mean, they don't work as good to me as like, you know, a Pulse or a Dead Rabbit or a Drop or whatever. But if, you know, it might help people get into squonking if they're able to buy one that has a coil. I don't know if you can't call it an RDA because you're really not dripping.
Well,
so we'll just call it a DA.
Yeah, there you go. Have you tried the B2K RSA?
I have. As a matter of fact, I've got one of those on my Cloak V2, which is downstairs. And I also just got their brand new version of it. It's the version 4. They've got like all kinds of different names on it. I have it on my Instagram. I have not built it and tried it because I got it right before I left for Dominican Republic.
All right. Let's see. Anyone else have questions for Tony? Let's see. I'm trying to find some. Anyone else see any in chat here?
I see the postman does not like the maze. Well, like I said, man, you know, if it helps somebody to get into squonking, I think it's fine. You want to see the Flying V? Okay. This Flying V is an interesting Flying V because it is a 7-string Flying V.
Oh, damn.
Right? So you got the low B on here so that you can, you know, do like corn and stuff, that kind of stuff. But it's a pretty nice V. It's a 59 Carina V replica. It is, well, it's an Epiphone. So, I mean, it's still kind of Gibson. Got a bunch of guitars back here, and then my Fender Strat back there.
Yeah, someone said in chat earlier, Tony, play the guitar behind you.
I don't have anything to plug into or anything right here. Everything's in my other studio.
It'll just sound jing, 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 jing.
Yeah, I was in a lot of metal bands back in the 80s. I'll probably show you my age, but you know.
There's a Photoshop for you, Tony with metal hair.
Dude, I have a bunch. My wife has some very embarrassing photos. The one that I was going to put inside the album cover where I was wearing a leather vest and a leather fedora, I had long feathered hair, and I was holding a rose, and I was sitting there all like, yeah. She threatens to put that one up on my social media all the time. I'm like, no. And the reason why is because one of my nuts is hanging out of the bottom of my shorts there a little bit. Kind of. But I figured if it was going to be inside my album cover, I wanted the girls to see my nuts. So,
Tony, I gotta say, like 90% of the people never get to hear the amazing stories you have. Can you just like come up with like one story, just random, anything, just a crazy story of Tony's?
Well, I used to work I worked in radio for 16, 17 years. One of the markets that I worked in was Las Vegas. And Las Vegas is, I was on a classic rock station, Male 2554. So that was the demo. And, you know, we had, Vegas is filled with porn stars, right? My first week on the air there, I was using some porno music as we called it in radio, bed music, the music that plays while you're talking. And so my bed music was like music from Behind the Green Door or something like that. I was like, I love this porno music, man. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. This guy calls me up and he goes, well, I own a porno company here in Las Vegas, and we're going to be shooting tomorrow. And I'd like to send one of my girls up there to bring you some of our music and some of our tapes, because back then it was all, you know, VCR. I'm like, anyways. And he goes, yeah, I'd love to have you come out. So I go out to the shoot, and they pair me up with this girl named Christy Lake. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like late 80s, early 90s porn, but Christy Lake. And so paired me up with her and a chaperone. And so she's like, oh, listen, I know you just moved to Las Vegas. I love your show. You know, it's really good. You have a lot of fun and, you know, everything. I'd love to come on your show. I said, well, I'd love to have you come on my show too. I just have a rule. Now, of course, I stole this from Howard Stern. I said, my rule is if you're a porn star or a stripper or whatever, you have to take your clothes off. And she was like, oh, that's no problem. So then she grabs me by my hand and she says, come with me. I have something for you. And I was like, what? Now, I wasn't married to my wife at the time, but we were dating, had been dating for a couple of years, and she was still back in San Diego. I told her, just wait there for a couple months, make sure the job pairs out. So she goes, come with me. And she grabs my hand and starts to walk me across the courtyard of this place where they're filming. And I go, what do you have for me? And she goes, a blowjob, silly. And I went, oh, no. I can't do that.
After show.
And she says, why? And I go, Listen, I work in radio, and I'll have to tell this story on the radio. I'll have to tell everybody that I got one, and then my girlfriend will find out. It's just not a good idea. And she goes, you know what? I really like you now. I was like, okay. I became very good friends with her. She would come on my show anytime she was in town, feature dancing or whatever. She'd come and get naked on the show and hang out. And she actually took my wife and I to the Adult Academy Awards of Porn 2 times.
Nice.
One year she was up for Best Anal Scene of the Year. Yeah, and she had her parents that were Mormons down from Utah. Yeah, so I said, can I have them as guests on the show? I'd like to interview them. And she goes, yeah, that sounds great. Again, stealing a page from Howard Stern. So she comes in on the show with her parents, and I'm like, so how great is that? Your daughter, I mean, you must be proud. She's up for Best Anal Scene of the Year. Not everybody gets that, right? And they're like, yeah. And I go, so have you ever seen any of her films? And Mom immediately goes, no. And Dad goes, well, and I go, oh, well, I got to hear this, So Dad's like, well, and Christy cuts in and she goes, just so you know, every movie I've ever done, I send them a copy, and they have a little closet in their house, and they keep it in there because in Utah it's kind of frowned upon, porn is. And so she says, I send them they have every copy, so it's likely that he's seen one. And I was like, yeah, then tell me about this. And he goes, well, I had some friends over, and the mother's looking at him like, what? and he says, we didn't watch the scenes that she was in. We just wanted to see what kind of movie she was in. And I was like, oh boy. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
That's amazing.
I was like, I am so sorry. And they went, well, we signed up. We're here. So
that is so, dude, you have the best stories, Tony. I cannot wait to catch up with you at Foxwood some more. Hopefully
they get better after drinking for sure.
Oh, dude, I want to get some on my vlog too. Chris Snyder asks, how many of those hats do you have, Tony?
This hat right here, I've got 2 of. This one's about to get retired because, when I find something I like, I buy more than one. And I've got a whole collection of these types of hats. Let me tell you the story behind why I wear these hats. I've had people say, oh, that's a stereotypical vaping thing. I'm like, it totally isn't. The black hat that you're wearing, Nick, is more of a stereotypical thing
big time.
of vaping, right? I don't, the black hats and black shirts, I don't really do that. This is how I live at the beach. This is how I dress every day. And that's probably how you dress every day, which is fine. But the hat, okay, so what happened with that is that my grandfather was a teamster outside of Chicago during the Al Capone days, right? He was a treasurer for the Teamsters. That means he probably was running across mobsters regularly. The treasurer is always the person that the mobsters would go after because the treasurer controls the money. And if they were going to launder money, well, there you go. I'm not saying he did. My mother says, oh, no. But he wore a fedora every day. He wore a fedora when he was working in the yard, wore a fedora when he was whatever, every day, right? And after he died, I went to his funeral in Illinois, and I heard so many great things about him from the people that he worked with, people of color that I thought, I always thought he was kind of a racist. But they said, oh, no, your grandfather maybe outwardly said things that weren't very nice, but inwardly he helped all kinds of people, including me, to get an incredible job. So your grandfather was a good guy. So afterwards, I got a couple of his hats. That was the only thing I asked for. And I tried them on, and I said, you know what? This is a good look for me. This is what I'm wearing. And it's just in honor of my grandfather, and it's what I wear. There we go.
That's awesome. I like that there's a story behind it too. I mean,
there's a story behind just about everything for me.
From you, I would expect nothing less.
Right.
Someone said, other questions in chat.
Go for it, Mike.
One from Conway Valley Vapors. He says, question for casters. What legal age should vaping be at?
Oh, geez, that's a whole other topic for a whole other show.
Well, the short answer to that one is the vaping age should be the legal age for smoking in whatever country or state you're from.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be vaping if you're not a smoker anyway.
Right. But it shouldn't be higher than the smoking age. That's for damn sure.
No.
I agree, yeah.
And the other question is for Tony, and it is, are you planning on releasing the translucent colours on the regulated BF mod?
Yes, we will have an assortment of extra panels, which I'd like to note that people always wonder, well, how much are you making from this stuff? I make nothing from the panel sales. I just didn't make a good deal, I guess. But they will have extra panels. They'll have clear panels. They will probably also sell the resin and the carbon fiber panels separately. I've been talking to them about other materials like Juma and maybe stab wood and stuff. So we'll see what they come up with. You know, they're open to it. They're like, look, if we think that they'll sell, we'll make them.
Stop
Evolt them.
And speaking of with the standard Pulse BF mod, we may see, you know, because they made a lot of stock of the bodies of those. We may see some other versions of that. I suggested, you know, put out a limited edition version of it with a MOSFET chip. You know, put it out with silver internals that you can remove. You know, that kind of stuff. So we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens with the original one, but it still sells really well. People still love that thing, and that's you know, we'll just see.
We had a couple people ask about any plans for a dual battery version or possibly another RDA.
You know, I have probably 20 designs on the boards that, you know, are all possible. I've always thought with dual 18650 mods, they were either too big or too ugly. You know, look at the Lost Vape drone. I was like so disappointed by that thing. I was like, this doesn't even look like a Lost Vape product. It looks slapped together, you know, it's huge, gigantic. Sorry. So the way I look at it, I'm still recovering from a cold, guys, but the way I look at it is that I have a design that I've been working on that if you were to do this, it would be not much wider than many of these little tiny, let's see, a dual 8. Okay, that's a dual 18650 mod right there, okay? Stick a bottle next to that, it's not that much bigger. So I've been working on some things like that, and I've been talking with not just Vandy Vape, but other companies that have come to me and said, "Hey, do you have any ideas?" So that's definitely that's.
I'm glad you're not cornering yourself with just Vandy Vape, but you know, you can work with other companies, you know.
Hey, they work with other companies.
As long as you're not contracted.
I mean, they work with other people, so I could not,
right,
you know.
Right.
I'm not under any kind of a exclusivity deal with them, no. As far as the atomizers, yeah, I have some really good ideas for atomizers. There's one that I was working on before the Pulse that we just couldn't figure out how to get the clamps to work properly, and that might also come to fruition. We've talked about doing a limited edition version of the Pulse that would be slightly different.
Oh,
so
ooh, juicy! I like this.
Yeah, I like the Pulse RDA. You know, so yeah. I have some ideas that would make that slightly different and please people that that had ticks that they didn't love about the original one. One of the things that people have complained about with the original, especially the Pulse 22, is that the caps get really hard to take off. It happens over time. You know, we tried to make the tolerances on those things really tight to begin with. And unfortunately, with heat and contraction, you know, expansion and contraction from heat and cooling and all that, the O-rings do stretch out over time. If you have that problem, remove them, put new O-rings on there. It solves the problem. And also in later versions like these, the Matte Black Pulse 24, never once had these things get too tight. So I don't know if they changed the tolerances on them after giving them some grief about that, but they don't do it to me. So there you go.
And one thing I do like about the Pulse having the tight top caps is that it doesn't just fall off. That's one of my problems with so many RDAs, that you can't pick it up from the top cap. That's what I test for. If you can pick up your mod with the top cap like that, then it's fine. And that's what I like about the Pulse as opposed to some other RDAs out there. Right. Nick Fenton said, just took an O-ring off the top of my Pulse 22. It's sound. Don't know how anyone could improve on that design. Oh, there you go.
Appreciate that.
Let's see. I think, yeah, we're pretty much rounding out the end of the show here. I know Jay didn't get a lot of screen time. So Jay, if you want to talk about your vape mail or anything that you want to talk about there.
Well, yeah, you had time to go and get it.
Yeah, there you go.
Funny. Yeah, so I actually got something in this week. It is this from Smog Mods, UK-based company. It is the Ripper and I've got to say it's absolutely awesome. That is the mod there.
Nice.
I love it.
It's pretty.
I've paired it up with the Bonza on top there, and it just hits like a train. Also inside there, and what I've got for review and a giveaway next week are some Peaky Winder coils. Sorry, Shane. But yeah, so these are some prototypes that I've got in here, and they're working really well. They're really like beastly, feisty. Like, I'm just loving this at the moment. Like, this mod, I haven't put it down since I got it. But you guys that know me from watching streams and that I always don't go anywhere without my daily beater. It's always by my side, which is the Mongrel V2, my alley version. And yeah, they're just coming on in leaps and bounds with their mods, each one that they make, and it's all British made, and this just feels nice. And I've just got to give a big shout out to Craig Slim at Smug Mods, Big Slim's Vapor Co, and also a nice little shout out to Peaky Winders coil makers in the UK. There will be a giveaway coming on them next week. Hopefully we'll sort something out and do it properly. And yeah, but that's what I've got in this week. So thanks for my 5 minutes of fame.
That's a high and bye, basically, because we're pretty much out of time. Mike, shout outs. Anyone you want to shout out this week?
Yeah, just shout out Conway Valley Vapors. Go and check out his website. It is vaporme.co.uk. Got some really nice stuff on his site, so give him a look. And there was another one, but I can't remember who it is now.
Tony's e-cig stuff.
Tony's e-cig stuff. Go and subscribe to him. Excellent little reviewer.
You could post a link in chat if you'd be so kind. Yeah, that was you. I see that in our little dossier thing here, our little notes. So yeah, what I was gonna say, real quick. No, actually, I gotta let Tony do his thing, dude. Tony, shout outs. Anyone you want to give some credit to?
Well, sorry if I monopolized. I'm a talker.
Yeah, it's all good, dude.
So you get me going on a roll, and I'll just keep talking.
There's no point in having a guest on if you're not going to talk.
Exactly.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I could have been like, oh, yes, no.
No. Sorry to cut you off there. Sorry.
No, I had an interview with Joan Jett one time backstage at a concert, and she was just like that. I was like, so Joan, you have any record coming out? Yes. Is it good? Well, yeah. Okay. Well, so we're moving on. No, just listen. Shout out to everybody that supports my channel, that supports vaping. You know, I do my best. You know, I just want to bring you guys good content, and I like to share it. This is what's keeping me off of cigarettes. I tried everything, man. I tried patches, hypnotism, gums, everything, and I even quit for 2 years one time. And then I got divorced, and I went out to a bar, and there was a good-looking girl there, and she said, "Do you want a cigarette?" I said, "Yes, I do." So I know that any other way of trying to quit smoking, it won't work for me. This is the only thing that has worked. So, you know, that's why I support it. That's why I'm so, you know, so passionate about it. And I want to share that with everybody, and I want everybody to have access to good vaping products. For me, squonking is where it's at. I will review and check out all the other products, but when I grab something for personal use, it's going to be a squonker. That's just how I roll. But yeah, thank you guys for having me on here, and shout outs to just everybody who's ever supported me and my channel.
Oh,
Nice.
Well done, Tony. Well done.
What are you gonna do?
So yeah, I just had a couple of quick shout outs. I got to shout out Twisted Messes. He's supporting me now, and you know, I've got to show some love. I do have some coupon codes. If you go over onto my last build video on my channel, you can see the coupon codes for twistedmesses.com. They're pretty simple. It's Daily Vape TV for 10% off his entire site, and Fresh Build Friday for 20% off Twisted Messes Wire. I will have more coupon codes coming, hopefully next week for some other things, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. I have to show some love for Vape Mats as well. He hooks it up every time. He gave me some mats. He gave me a good price on them, and now I'm able to give them out to you guys. So I've got some mini mats. Excuse me. I've got some mini mats to give away for when we go to events and stuff like that, and probably just throw them in with some of the other normal giveaway stuff as well, which is pretty sweet. Also, native wicks. They keep me, wicked up. I use native wicks on all my Fresh Build Fridays. So thank you, native wicks, for that. New coupon code coming soon for that as well. So things are progressing and moving forward here. But with that is my main shout outs. Obviously, Vape Finder, big love to them as well. London Vape Show is coming up in August, which I will be there. Super excited about that. Tony and I will be at Foxwoods next weekend in Connecticut. So make sure if you're in the area to stop by and say hi to us, because we'll be there hanging out and probably grabbing a beer.
or 5 or 10. I do want to give a shout out to Vape Jam for bringing me out to the show. I thought that was really cool. They reached out to me and said, we'd like to have you out there. And I think it's really great. So if you're going to be in London in April for Vape Jam, I would love to see you there. I'm going to do 2 Q&A sessions. I'd love to come out to Birmingham's too, but the thing is, my grandmother's turning 100 years old, and you don't miss grandma's 100-year birthday.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Vape Jam is literally 20 minutes up the road from me, if that.
Well,
you're going to be there, aren't you?
Right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
There you go.
I'll be there.
So yeah, that pretty much does it for the show today, guys. I mean, we salvaged it. We managed to salvage it. Tony, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. We hope to have you back. Hopefully a little bit better produced. Hopefully we'll have Chris on that week when we have you back on, because I would love to have him on as well and get to chat with you guys. So hopefully you'll be back, Tony. Hopefully we made this a pleasant experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Guys, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say also, everyone, Chris at Empire Vape Co. with vape mats as well. He will have his available very soon. So keep a lookout for his vape mats as well.
Right. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel right here, as well as all of the panel members. We have all the links right down there in the description below, so make sure you check that out. The after show will be Jay. Jay, you want to host this one? How's your internet working? Okay. All right. Jay's channel.
My internet's fine. It was just your dodgy whatever call it was, mate.
Oh, so Laura turned the plug off to the router, was it?
So we're going to do the after show over on Jay's channel in about half an hour, so stay tuned for that as well. Until next week, guys, I will not be there, unfortunately, but hopefully I'll pop in to chat for a little bit and talk with you guys. But same time next week. It's going to be a little bit off because the UK daylight savings time doesn't happen for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all messed up. Now
there's only 4 hours difference.
4 hours behind. It's weird. So anyways, we'll announce the proper times next week and hopefully get some more viewers in here. But yeah, everything just kind of went tits up today. But yeah, we'll check you guys out in half an hour over on Jay's channel. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hit that like button on your way out the door. Subscribe down below, all that good stuff. And, vape on. Ready?
Nice one.
Everyone,
adios.
Vape at your camera. Go.